So in this build, I wanted to kind of revisit the container home design that I had achieved in the last build, but kind of play around with kind of natural heating and natural cooling a little bit more. So for this particular design, I actually stretched it out, utilizing one 40-foot container, so that every room essentially has large south-facing windows, which will heat the interior up in the wintertime. And in the summertime, when the sun is really high in the sky, the wraparound porch should shield most of the windows. But also, we have the cooling tower again, which would be the 20-foot container propped on its side. And in this time, I have it placed kind of in the center of the build, and also with south-facing windows on its southern exposure. And so at the top of this cooling tower will be a vent, and so this tower will act like a solar chimney again. So the vent will always be opened in the summertime, allowing the warm air to collect in the tower and rise, and then in the wintertime, the vent will be closed, and so the southern exposures will create warm air inside the tower and distribute that inside the 40-foot container. And then I've placed pretty much most doors kind of opposite each other lengthways, and then I've placed windows opposite each other to ensure that there's always airflow and that air can be pushed throughout the building. I really wanted to create the look of a container home that was built entirely of plywood. I know plywood's not the most aesthetically pleasing, but I think it's the most authentic in terms of how economical it is and environmentally sustainable, because you can cut so many pieces of plywood veneer from a single tree. But it's also, I feel like if this were the Wild West and those old pioneers had access to plywood, that would be the most realistic option. So right now I just have whatever wooden cladding I had on the last house, but at the end of the video I actually found a wall covering that I like better that looks more like plywood. And I have lino in the bathrooms there because I kind of like the old lino look, and lino is also very environmentally friendly. It decomposes very well, and I also just like lino. It's warm to step on. It kind of reminds me of the 90s. It's economical for sure. I went through a couple iterations of this house. You can see here I put the kitchen. I switched around the kitchen and living room, which I think is a much better model. So you're walking into the kitchen. I'm going to keep changing it a little bit more. I have wooden floors throughout. I really like the kind of the green appliances as well. I have like the green toilet and the green shower. It just reminds me of something in the 90s, and I feel like it's perfect for a little kind of off-grid house like this. Like maybe somebody has a big house in the city, or a big condo in the city, and this is kind of their escape where they have not fully running water or things like that. I I guess this particular build does have running water because I do have the indoor bathroom, but I do still like the idea of the incinerating toilet. So which can save, I think it's like 2,000 gallons of water per person a year. So since this is in the desert, I'm just going to pretend they have the incinerating toilet. You may also notice I put the bath, an exterior bathtub on the roof right above where the bathroom is, for a nice outdoor bathing experience, and I feel like it's quite realistic because it is above where the plumbing would be. Because I have windows all on the south side, I did play around with how to create some privacy for the bathroom, and I ultimately decided to kind of have the shower and the toilet in a separate room in a kind of a water closet behind the sink, and have those kind of Japanese style sliding doors. So I really liked how that turned out. And then I also decided I wanted to create kind of an enclosure around this house and put a series of gates and then an enclosure around the back, because I just thought about all of the snakes and scorpions and kind of critters, and I thought this would be nice to create a kind of compound in the desert, which is like super safe and where you can have your cats or dogs kind of run free. This is just on the roof, just creating a little bit of an enclosure there as well. And then I think I still have to change the floors of this, but I just wanted to create a very realistic looking bathroom, something that had enough room and was private and that you wouldn't be able to see when you're walking around on the wraparound porch. And then I wanted to create kind of a realistic bedrooms with lots of room for storage space, because I'm aware it's a very, kind of narrow home. But I think I got it there. I think I created a little closet room. I do like little walk-in closets, even if they are small. And I have the bedrooms on either end, obviously for privacy. And I've been strategic where the doors are placed out onto the porch to kind of expand the interior spaces a little bit. And then, yeah, I really liked the way that external gate kind of came out. And then I put in a little pool. This was my little luxury piece, but I just added a little pool in as well. So I thought that was a cute kind of addition. I'm just playing around here with the living room, making it look very lived in. I think I changed the lino in the bathroom. I like that better. It's very 90s, but it's a little bit more well suited. And I put in the countertops in the kitchen to save storage space, which I thought was a good idea for this home. Anyway, so this was the second desert container home build, and I think it's kind of relatively realistic in its dimensions. It's just two containers, one 40-foot container and then one 20-foot container propped up on its side, and a wraparound porch. And so I think I'm going to create a restaurant next, a desert restaurant, and I did have a desert saloon, but I lost the video footage for that, so I'll probably show a video of it later, but I just won't have the build of it. But this will do for now, for sure.